Today we're going to talk about a product from Shootools and it's called AutoPan. As you can kind of guess, it stands for auto panning. So it's a motorized little product here that can be added to a manual slider, a motorized slider that doesn't have the second axis. It can be mounted to a jib or just directly to a tripod and used in that sense. So it's an automatic panning head, and we're going to talk about what it is, what it does, and how it can work for you. So as an example, we have the Cinovate Doozy version 4 video slider here. Now this is just a manual video slider, so you just push it side to side. As you can see, very smooth. But you notice I don't have the panning except for my fluid head here. So if I wanted to track a product in the center of my frame, I would have to slide the slider and automatically pan my video head. Not too bad, and I could repeat that shot over and over if I'm not perfect. But if I was working with a subject and talent and I had them doing something and I needed to keep my subject centered while I'm panning, I could probably be making a lot of mistakes. So the auto pan here is going to automatically pan your camera for you. So all you need to do is just control your slide and it will automatically pan the camera. So let's take a look at it. Let's unbox it and see how it works. What we're going to do is we're going to take the camera and the Lebec THX video tripod head off of here, and we're going to mount the AutoPan. So pretty much everything you need is going to be inside here. On the inside we have a power adapter here and the AutoPan head. Now you don't need to have it plugged into power, it's only to recharge the unit. It has its own battery, so once it's charged up you just mount it to your slider and you just use it. This is what the unit looks like over here. So there's a platform where you would mount either your tripod head or you can mount your camera directly. There's some buttons in the front here, very simple. Set keyframe, there's rotating the platform clockwise or counterclockwise, and a button for end keyframe. There's power on, and there's also a Wi-Fi button. Now the Wi-Fi unit is installed on here, but unfortunately I can't show it to you because there's an iOS or Android app that works with it, and that's not released yet. But the Wi-Fi module is already integrated here, so you're going to be able to look forward to some other features down the road if you purchase this product. On the side here, there's some ports. There's a DC charging port. There's also one to fire your camera's shutter. So this head here can be used for time-lapse movement as well. So that's through the app. It will automatically rotate and do a time-lapse and some other features that you can control through your phone. Right now, we're just going to show kind of the basic use of the auto panning head, which is still pretty clever. So let's mount it to our slider. Now that I've threaded it onto my slider, you notice that the position of the head is kind of in this manner. If there's a little switch here, if we hit the switch, we rotate a little bit further, you'll hear it click. So this is a different position that we can leave it at, or we press the button and we rotate. So whatever's going to be comfortable for you. But the whole secret to this system is this retractable cord on the back here. Now I don't want that to bind, so I want this to be kind of targeting this direction. What happens is you have to pull this cord and you have to attach it to the end of the slider here. So I'm going to attach it right there at this end. Now as the slider moves back and forth and as this cord is being pulled away from the head, that's how it knows its positioning. So as you're enabling keyframes down your rail, it knows how much it's traveled. And the simplest way I could kind of explain this, if it's kind of confusing, is if we were to take a tape measure. As we pull this in and out, it just retracts. But every time we pull it out, we know how much distance we've pulled this tape measure out. So if I wanted to go to like 1 feet or 2 feet or 3 feet, and then we go back to 2 feet, 1 feet, by pulling the cord on the head here, it knows how long it's traveled. So after you mount your string, you set your first keyframe, and then as you move it, it can measure the distance that it's traveling all the way down to your last keyframe. So that's kind of how it would take its measurement. That's the best way I can explain it. So right now we can either add a tripod head to the top here. You probably want to do that if you're going to do some tilting. Right now I'm just going to mount the camera directly to the platform. All right, so you do notice that my camera is not set up in the right angle that I want it to. So remember, the first thing you want to do is you want to attach the cord to the end of your slider. There's a key ring here, so I just hooked it onto the lever on the side of my leg here. Now they do include some Velcro, so you could just Velcro that key ring down at the end. It is retractable, so it's going to stay taut. So what you want to do is slide your carrier all the way down to the end, and let's set up our first keyframe. So to do that, let's set up our first camera position. We're going to rotate this camera. All right, so in this position here, we're going to pretend that I have a subject in the center of my slider that I want to track. I want to do some parallax. I want to automatically pan and keep my subject in frame in the middle. So this is going to be our first position. So what we want to do is we want to hit set keyframe. All right, now we're going to move down to the end of the slider. This is the most basic use, right? We're just going to set up 2 keyframes. Now that we're at the end here, we're going to reposition our camera. In this position here, you're going to see that our camera is pointing if our subject is in the center here. So we're going to hit set keyframe again. Now that we're done, we're going to hit end keyframe because we're not going to create any more keyframes. And that's pretty much it. So now as I move the slider and this cord retracts, it's going to understand where keyframe 1 is and keyframe 2 is, and so it's going to automatically pan. So as I move the slider, you can see that it's automatically moving my camera to keyframe 1, and then we'll go to keyframe 2. So it's pretty cool because you could just have a product in the middle here and you could just slide back and forth and it will track the same way, pretty much the same way every time. So in order to clear up our keyframes, we're just gonna hold the end keyframe button for a few seconds and that will basically wipe out our keyframes. Now you can set up to 10 keyframes along your rail. So as you pull your slider across, you can set up 10 different keyframes if you're trying to track a product here, and then as you get to the end, you're trying to track another product. So it's pretty cool that you could add up to 10 different keyframes. And then if you have a motorized slider that's pulling this across, again, it will work in conjunction to that because as it pulls the cord and going down the rail, it could just, you know, go to the keyframes that you set. As far as setting up and using the product, it's actually very quick. Again, I can't show you the other features like the time lapse and the Wi-Fi because the app's not available yet. But the hardware is built into this. So again, if you're looking to purchase this, there's going to be some more features down the line. They show some examples of this on their website, which I'll have a link below this video. One of the things though is as you're using this, you'll notice that there is some noise. So I have a microphone directly above me, and I'm not sure if you could hear that noise, but there's definitely some noise when using this and automatically panning. So it's something that you have to consider. If you're doing audio sensitive projects, this could be a little bit noisy for those things. If you're doing things like shooting B-roll for a wedding, or you're doing a lot of kind of product type commercials where audio is not really a concern, this is a very handy feature to have. Again, it's super simple to set up. You just throw it right on your slider. It has its own battery, and you could set up to 10 different keyframes along the rail. So pretty handy little product. Again, I can't show you all the features that they're going to show down the line, but that's a quick look at it and how you can use it, add it to just about any slider. And again, you can use it on a jib or directly onto a tripod as well. So if you guys have any questions about this, I'm going to have a link below this video and also on the blog at cheesycam.com.